Here's a quote for you. The United States will no longer allow its adversaries to use the Western Hemisphere as their base of operation. That's the Trump administration message to the United Nations after the capture of Nicolas Maduro.
Well, the president is under fire from Democrat members of Congress for his bold move. The Senate Minority Leader labeled his plan to run Venezuela wishful thinking. CBN's Wendy Griffith reports.
U.S. lawmakers responded along party lines last night after military and administration leaders briefed Congress on the operation that captured Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro.
Their plan for the U.S. running Venezuela is vague, based on wishful thinking, and unsatisfying. When the United States engages in this kind of regime change and so-called nation building, it always ends up hurting the United States.
We don't expect troops on the ground. We don't expect direct involvement in any other way beyond just coercing the interim government to get that going.
Earlier Monday in a New York courtroom, a defiant Nicolas Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, pled not guilty to federal drug charges. Prosecutors say the ousted Venezuelan dictator and his wife worked together to traffic cocaine, allegedly used the government to hand out passports to drug dealers, and were involved in murders and kidnapping. Asked for a plea to the charges, Maduro told the judge, "I am innocent. I am not guilty. I am a decent man. I am still president of my country." In her plea, Flores said, "Not guilty, completely innocent." U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Mike Waltz defended Maduro's capture, saying there is no war against Venezuela or its people.
We are not occupying a country. This is the Western Hemisphere. This is where we live. And we're not going to allow the Western Hemisphere to be used as a base of operation for our nation's adversaries and competitors and rivals of the United States.
New video from Saturday's early morning raid in Caracas shows U.S. warplanes hitting Venezuela's military sites and knocking out power to parts of the city. The White House justified the military operation, and President Trump saying the U.S. is now in charge of the South American country of 31 million people.
We're in charge.
This as Maduro's vice president, Delcy Rodriguez, was sworn in as interim leader. Rodriguez is a staunch defender of Maduro's socialist government, whom he nicknamed the Tigress for her toughness. The 56-year-old Rodriguez, who's been vice president since 2018, has called for Maduro's return. But Monday, she posted on social media asking the U.S. to work with Venezuela. Maduro is now back behind bars and being held without bail. He's expected back in court in March. President Trump now suggesting Colombia and Cuba could face similar actions. Wendy Griffith, CBN News.
Well, it's definitely a new hemisphere in the wake of the action against Maduro. But I fear that the new government of Venezuela will actually be worse. The Rodriguez, who just was sworn in, we just saw the video of her swearing in. She's an avowed socialist. Hugo Chavez, she worked with his party to get him into power, and her as vice president was considered one of the links back to Chavez. She's an avowed socialist. She's already come out and said the action against Maduro was somehow a Zionist plot, and so she's bought into the Islamic ideology. She's in business with people from Lebanon. Iran has deep ties within Venezuela as well as Hezbollah. So the radicalization of an entire country seems to be on track. I don't understand why the government that was supposed to have been elected. There were elections. Maduro lost that election, but then refused to give up power. And so that's why we call him a dictator. And the winner of that election is winning a Nobel Peace Prize. So why not put her in charge of the country that she clearly won an election and then hold free and fair elections going forward? This will undoubtedly play out over the years ahead, but if you're expecting some kind of rebound in the oil industry of Venezuela, some kind of quick turnaround on their hyperinflation, their economy suddenly taking new legs and rising up from the death throes, it's not going to happen that way. And we've seen it again and again. The Iraq oil industry has yet to recover from the Iraq War. Will Venezuela recover from decades of socialist intervention? It just doesn't seem to be feasible in any kind of short term. So we have to be playing the long game, and in that long game, I hope there are free and fair elections as soon as possible, and it's not some puppet government in Venezuela.